Now back to Keeping It Real with the Reverend Al Sharpton. Only on NewsTalk 1090 AM WILD Boston, where information is power.
I believe that you are correct in saying that the across-the-board interdenominational lines need to be established so that those who are qualified in clergy, and I believe that there should be a qualifying reason for receiving, if one is living the life and is declaring the word as one can see as near to Christ-likeness as they can, should be supported across the board. There should be some pool of support where one would be able to go and draw for sustenance to be able to carry forth the word. And of course, I am from one of the founding churches, which is the AME Church on the soil of America, and we have always established that kind of mission for those who were coming in anew and for those who were born and bred. I am most grateful to be a part of this kind of forum and to hear you speak about how the word, the unadulterated word, has been the redeeming source. And of course, then you did say something that I was a bit concerned about, and that was the fact that you believe that the ministry may not be relevant. Maybe it was not you, but maybe it was someone. That the ministry of the Black Church today is not relevant, and I believe that it is. I believe that we are addressing the cause of as always, because it is in the Holy Word that we find direction, we find clarity, that we find redemption, and we find chastisement. So in that process of finding all of those things, the Word is an everlasting, ever-living Word that can do for any community that which needs to be done, that which needs to be corrected, and that which needs to spur us on to a higher height. And I do believe that many of the church members today are believing that they're in the eschatological times, but that has always been since the resurrection of Christ.
Reverend Rivers?
Yes.
Yes. Well, see, two things. One of the things that I think is very important, and Reverend Sharpton has talked about this for years, is that we, the Black Church, must adapt and expand our vision. We're doing excellent work, but we can do better. A young kid put it to me well. He says, you can't use an 8-track tape in an iPhone world. It's a great line, right?
I like that.
Yes, but if you don't have the track tape, you wouldn't know what to compare the iPhone world to.
That's true.
In other words, what I'm saying is one of the great challenges for the churches is to figure out how we can creatively adapt and engage a new generation of young people.
Right.
The Word of God is powerful and fresh when it speaks to each succeeding generation in a new and fresh way. We can't use the 8-track when they talk about iPads. And so the deal is, and this is, I think, the theological challenge, and here I'm with Professor Glaude. We must come up with some new creative ways that build on our best biblical traditions to engage what I call the generation of the wire. We've got a whole generation of young people out here who do not know the ways of the Lord, who have not been raised in homes where grandmama's 35, mama's 15, and Tariq is 2. That's a different world than the world that I was raised in. And so I think with all the good work that we've done...
See, and I think that which you're saying is important, and that speaks to a lot of your work right there in Boston as well. And that is that some can say, I think Reverend Professor Glaude said it, that it is, he's not talking to the guy with the platinum gold in his mouth.
Right.
But some of us, you in Roxbury, me on 145th Street, that's who we have to talk to. I mean, because that's where we are.
That's right.
And I think that, one, you're right about the iPhone versus the 8-track era, but I also think about leadership is also where you got to be where the people are that you're leading.
That's right. There's no question about that. And see, one of the challenges, frankly, you know, so one sister, I completely agree with you, and the great opportunity that we have in history is that we now have to fashion. Look, Jesus said it. You can't put new wine into old wineskins.
Right.
You can't use an old paradigm in a new situation.
Right.
And so what we've got to do is come up with new strategies and paradigms that speak to a generation that was not raised in the generations that we've come up. And I see that happening. I see hip-hop churches popping up. I see younger guys who are following in the traditions of Reverend Sharpton and others who are going to hit the street.
Yes, sir, and good. And they're good.
Absolutely.
And we got to support them. Let's try to get one more in. Let's go to Derek in Chicago. Derek?
Hey, this is Freedom.
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, my bad. I love this conversation, but in my view, I would have to say that, and just in terms of it's the black church's political response to the situations that we're dealing with, I would have to suggest that we are dead. I mean, to that point where we're non-effective dealing with the political situations. Now, primarily what I'm dealing with is the fact that the doctrine of the black church has probably, in my view, never been accurate towards truth. We've always used the slave master's form of religion. That's a problem. That's a real problem. Although there have been many or several black preachers who have led their congregations to do what Christ actually did, which was get out in the streets with the people, they don't represent the majority of the black clergymen that don't do that and that are afraid to even take those.
But see, I think, Freedom, thank you, because I think that's a whole nother conversation, because I think that's true, but I think that's true of all times. I don't think the majority of any church world was on the cutting edge. Reverend Rivers, I thank you for staying with us the whole time. I needed this. I'm getting ready. I told him yesterday I got to wrestle with Glenn Beck today, so I needed a good sparring session to get me ready. Y'all watch me take on Glenn Beck later. And Rev Rivers will be in at the convention with Bishop Charles Blake. Make sure you get your free tickets to the sessions. 1-877-626-4651. 1-877-626-4651. Or log on to nationalactionnetwork.net. nationalactionnetwork.net. Let me thank my executive producer, Fatim Muhammad, my technical producer, Nathaniel Harris, my phone screener, Lee Majors, and most of all, let me also wish again happy birthday in all sincerity to Kirk Tanter. Most of all, let me thank you for calling in, listening in. You that called in and couldn't get through, but hung in there anyhow. Remember, whatever you do, wherever you go, however you feel, tell somebody. Reverend Al told you personally to keep it real. Keep it real. Keep it real. I'll talk to you tomorrow.
Get on the bus. The Reverend Al Sharpton and the National Action Network is heading down to the nation's capital. On Saturday, August 28th marks the 47th anniversary of the I Have a Dream speech by Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Fox News' Glenn Beck and the Tea Party movement will be also down in Washington, D.C. to sabotage the legacy of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. The late, great Martin Luther King put his life on the line daily to fight for everybody's civil rights, for jobs, housings, education, and equality. Please get on that bus. Join the march Saturday, August 28th, to send the Tea Party marchers a message that Dr. King's dream will not be distorted nor destroyed. Log on to nationalactionnetwork.net. Call the National Action Network at 1-877-626-4651. 1-877-626-4651 for transportation near you on the road to Washington, D.C. Saving the legacy of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr.
Don't touch that dial.
Thank you for your support.
Thanks for waking up.
Thanks for listening. And continue to listen to 1098 WILD.
WILD Boston.
This is the Fly Jack, Tom Joyner, plus my co-host, Sybil and J. Anthony Brown. There's only one way to start your morning. Is with the Tom Joyner Morning Show. Weekday, starting at 6.
Log on to BlackAmericaWeb.com for the TJMS.
Thank you, Boston. And continue to listen to the People's Station 1090 AM.
WILD Boston.
WILD Boston.
Radio 1 station.
Where music and information is power.
Hi, we are the Higginbotham, founder of the Osiris Family Institute.
We provide in-home therapy and therapeutic mentoring to families involved with Mass Health.
If you and your children are having a difficult time,
you may be eligible through your Mass Health insurance provider to have in-home therapy or a therapeutic mentor placed in your home.
To find out if your family is eligible,
Contact the Osiris Family Institute at 617-442-2002.
Or visit our website at osirisinstitute.com.
And listen to Families Do Matter, Sunday afternoons at 1 p.m. Eastern, only on NewsTalk 1090 WILD AM Boston, where information is power.
Hey, Boston. Check out this week's New York Amsterdam news. Log on to amsterdamnews.com and check out for Eleanor Tatum, courtesy of Keepin It Real with the Reverend Al Sharpton, to touch on stories from an African-American perspective. From home news, sports, business, arts, entertainment, opinions, subscriptions, and more. Visit amsterdamnews.com for your weekly mailing subscription. $20 for 6 months, $35 for 1 year. Listen out for Eleanor Tatum's views, thoughts, and opinions, only on Keepin It Real with the Reverend Al Sharpton, weekday afternoons, 1 to 4 p.m. Eastern, only on NewsTalk 1090 AM WILD Boston, where information is power. The Black News Roundtable with Eleanor Tatum and the Reverend Al Sharpton every Thursday on Keepin It Real, a Radio 1 station. Boston's home for classic soul and R&B, 1090 AM WILD Boston.